Okay, we got a lot to cover. Let's go. So we're up to O's test, and he says like this. He says, "Ulam milvad kol zeh." Aside from all this, Gazra midas dinos baruch shemo shlo yuchlu lo adam lo olam me'ata higia l'shlemos. He says now, once Adam sinned, it is impossible for mankind and the world to reach perfection. Odam batsura shniskalkala, in the form that was already ruined. By Adam and Chava eating from that tree, and whatever exactly took place over there, it caused a kilkul, some form of ruination, some form of spoiling, and therefore it is impossible for him and the world to reach perfection while they were still in that same form. Dahainu atzura sheyesh lam achshav, in the form they have right now, sheba nisra b'hara, because again, as we said, when Adam ate from that tree, what happened is that there was an increase in evil in the world, and to the point that it is impossible. Sorry? Sorry?
Adam or Chaya?
Both of them.
Oh, you said you almost said
Oh, yeah, I'm just, Yeah. Well, that's interestingly, he always focuses on Adam over here. He doesn't focus on Chava at all. But both of them. Okay, to the point, have said. So what happens to happen is that there has to be, because it's been so corrupted, because there's been so much evil, there has to be all of the individual and the world has to be completely lost. Zahainu hamavsla adam, death. And sort of the cessation of all other creation, all of other creation, which was ruined with him. And it is impossible in this current state, after Adam and Chava sinned, it is impossible for the soul to purify the body. What has to happen first is they have to separate. The soul has to go to its place, which we'll call Gan Eden, which we'll get to later, and the body has to ultimately decompose, and then a new structure has to come in, and then the soul is going to go in and purify it. In other words, the body that we are born in, because the world is in its corrupt state, the body has to be lost, the body has to be decomposed, the soul has to go to its own place, and then there has to be a reconstruction of the body, and then the soul at that point is able to bring it back to that ideal state that was supposed to be before Adam sinned. So according to this framing, by the way, what he's telling us is that death is not, as it's often understood, to be a punishment for Adam and Chava sinning. Rather, once Adam sinned, what happened is that things became too corrupted, and therefore it was impossible that the soul be able to elevate the body. The only way that's able to happen is for the body to regenerate itself, i.e. death. And therefore death is not a punishment, death is actually the medium through which the world is able to actually attain perfection, right? It's a bit of a different framing. Death is not a punishment, but the institution of death in general is there for the body to be able to be reconstructed in a better, a more ideal state, and therefore be elevated. Similarly, the entire world is going to lose its current form, and it's going to come back in a new, more ideal state, which is more fit for perfection. Therefore, it was decreed that mankind will die and come back and live. This is what we call the resurrection of the dead. Okay, so again, death and the resurrection are not just, we oftentimes think of Tchias HaMesim as like, oh, it's so nice, I'm going to see, which is beautiful, I'm going to see my loved ones, which is beautiful. But there's something more fundamental taking place. Without Tchias HaMesim, there would be an impossibility of our bodies actually being elevated according to this framing, right? In other words, there's some discussion about if a person's alive at the end of, when Mashiach comes, will they die first then come back, or will they just stay alive? According to what he's describing, they have to die. It is impossible for us to be able to be elevated without death. And therefore, again, Tchias HaMesim is not just, which it is, a beautiful thing, a chance to reunite and et cetera, but it's actually a stepping stone to the perfection of every individual. And similarly, the world, in the same vein, is going to be destroyed and come back and renew. The Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us, Shita alfei shnei have alma. The Gemara tells us the world will exist for 6,000 years. V'chad charaf, and then 1,000 years will be destroyed. L'sof elef shana kadosh baruch hu chos mechadash islamo, and at the end of that 1,000 years, Hashem will renew the world. Okay, what happens during those middle 1,000 years? Whatever, we're not around. Who cares? The point is that the world is going. This world cannot be elevated. This world cannot be elevated, and it has to go through some form of destruction, and only then will it be able to be rejuvenated. Okay, so in as much as there's Tchias HaMesim, so again, a lot of fundamental ideas. Death is not a punishment; it is a medium through which we're able to attain perfection. And as much as people have to die to get to that perfection, the world has to die as well in order to get into that perfection as well. We'll pick up on this. There's more to talk about it. God willing, tomorrow.